Assalamualaikum, I am Ahmad Fauzan as the narrator. Today, I will explain to you the case scheme and the case scenario. First of all, the main contractor is Yuzen and his company is ICS Construction Sdn Bhd. The client is Miss Azrin Darwina binti Zul Azri. The client's representative is Azhani and the main contractor's representative is Hazi. Lastly, the mediator is Isaac. The scenario is about conflict between the client and the main contractor. Miss Azrin appointed contractors to extend the kitchen area. In order for the works to start, the client must get approval from the Strata Management Committee. Unfortunately, Miss Azrin is quite late in getting the approval, which delays the contractor's works. This causes a conflict as Miss Azrin instructed contractors to work overtime on their Christmas holiday to get the works done.
Hello, is this Yuzan from ICS Construction?
Yes, he.
Great, I was looking for a contractor company to renovate my kitchen for the holidays and my brother recommended you. I would like to hire you for the job.
Thank you for the recognition, and it would be the delight to serve you. With our experts in construction, can you please brief state what type of renovation you want on your kitchen?
I was thinking of expanding my kitchen a little further into the backyard. It's currently a little too small for my liking. Can you help me with that?
Of course, I will provide you with a preliminary design and quotation once I discuss this with my staff.
Thank you, Yuzan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ajin. Here is the proposal design and scope of work on your kitchen renovation based on what we discussed before. Any comment?
Wow, this is exactly what I wanted. Are you sure you can finish this a week before Christmas? My family is coming over for the holidays and I would not want an unfinished kitchen sitting around in my house.
We promise, as long as you can able to get the approval from the strata management committee of your housing area, you can do the renovation. But Mr. Ajin, would it be possible if you pay the cost to us early?
Alright, I'll get that approval, but why do I have to pay you early?
Well, even since COVID start, we have been experiencing some financial issues with our company, and we feel if we do not take payment before started the work of any project, we may have the possibility of defaulting.
That is concerning, but I don't think I could pay you in full right now because I've always thought I will only have to pay you when the work is done. Is there any alternative to this?
Let's see. What if you pay 15% of the cost to us first, and then another 50% after work is done? Is that alright?
Yes, I do think that's a great idea. I will pay you the money around tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Ajin. Hi, Mr. Ajin. I am saddened to say you that we could not complete our work a week before this oncoming Christmas.
Hi Yuzan. Before this, you told me you could complete the renovation works. Why with the sudden change of mind? My family is coming this Christmas.
As you know, I had asked you to get the approval from the standard management committee of your housing area before this, as soon as possible before the renovation started. However, you are only possible to get it last 2 weeks, and this can affect our work greatly.
Is there any possible way for your team to complete the renovation as soon as possible and before Christmas?
Our team may need to complete overtime and during the weekend too. In order we are within the schedule. However, I would like to ask 30% of the remaining payment first, then will I proceed with the work.
30%? That is a lot. I cannot pay you that amount. I will pay as per our agreement, which is 50% upon completion.
I do not want to prolong this issue. How about we appoint a mediator to settle this issue? I am sure that you want us to continue our work as soon as possible.
I think that will be a good idea because time is money, is it? So, do you have any idea who will be our mediator?
I would suggest Mr. Isaac. I think that may you know him, as he is quite a well-known lawyer and has experience as a mediator in our area.
Oh, Mr. Isaac. Yes, sure. I think he's a good choice of mediator for our case. Can you set up a meeting with him?
Yes, sure. I will let you know the date and time later. I think we should end our meeting here today. Thank you for coming and see you at the next meeting.
Welcome and good morning. I am Isaac. Before we go, I'd like to inquire whether you have any doubts about having me as your mediator. Was it your idea or someone else's to have me act as your mediator? I simply want to make sure that there are no conflicts of interest and that no one is pressuring any of you to participate in this process.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Isaac. I'm Azrin Darwina, and you may call me Azrin. I'm the owner of the house, and I have no doubts on you as I had heard good feedbacks on your action as mediator.
Good morning to I am Sojan from ICS Construction Seri Berhad. Yes, both of us have agreed to go toward mediation process. We had both agreed beforehand to appoint you as our mediator, and there is no one pressuring us in this case.
That's great to hear. Before we proceed, I'd like to give you a brief overview of the mediation process. Mediation involves numerous steps. Pre-mediation is the first step, which is why you are here today. Before beginning the mediation process, we will do an initial examination to identify the main source of disagreement. So, was it clear?
Yes, we are
Yes,
here.
very clear.
Okay, good. The other stages that will be proceeding later on are the preliminary stage, joint session, and finally the agreement stage, which we will conduct for the next meeting. The mediation is meant to serve as a platform for reaching a conclusion. There is also a caucus, which will do a separate meeting during the process. However, caucus is optional. Are there any questions regarding the process?
No questions so far.
I see. I assume that both of you understand the process. If both of you agree to do mediation, you may both read the contract. If there is any question or objection, you may ask me. If both of you are satisfied with the contract, you may both sign it. Thank you to the both of you for the splendid cooperation. I will set a date for our next appointment and hopefully both of you can be there. Other than that, I ask for the understanding from both of you to communicate nicely and behaving well throughout the process. Thank you for your time and see you in the next meeting. Welcome everyone and good morning. Please have a seat. So, allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Isaac and I will be the mediator for today.
Good morning, Isaac. Great that able to meet again. Let me introduce my representative, Mr. Hadid.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Isaac, and this is my representative, Miss Azhani.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Azhani.
This is great. I'm pleased that both parties are giving cooperation and arrived here on time. In addition, make yourself comfortable throughout this mediation process. We have prepared coffee and tea for everyone, as well as plain water at the water dispenser. The restroom will be outside, located at the end of the hallway. If any parties need a break, please let me know. And in addition, please turn off your phone or keep it in silent mode throughout our process today. I hope that everything will go smoothly. And I know you all do too. If either parties have time limitation or other constraints, please let me know in advance. I will accommodate both parties fairly.
Everything is clear from us.
Thank you. We're all clear too.
All right. So now I am going to make my opening statement. Any agreement is your own decision and voluntary and has not been threatened or persecuted by anyone. As a certified mediator, my role is to assist and guide both parties to a mutual settlement on the issue. I hope both parties will be honest and open while discussing to resolve the issue. Furthermore, I will not make any comments or suggestions on the solution. Our mediation process is private and confidential. I clarify that I am not associated with both parties and will be fair in this process, and I will emphasize this once again. I will not be giving you any legal, financial, or other specialized advice. Are we all clear here?
We are clear and understanding.
I'm also clear with your statement, but can you please explain more on the mediation process for our understanding?
Sure. After I complete my preliminary remarks, both of you will be given an uninterrupted session to explain what brought you to this session and the problem faced by both parties. We will start first with Yuzin and proceed with Miss Azrin here. Miss Azrin, here I want to stress and establish ground rules during the process, which is do not cause any interruptions while the other are explaining, and use only appropriate language while speaking to ensure the ease to resolve the issue. If you have any questions to ask the other party, please write it down on a piece of paper that I have distributed. After both of you give an overview of the problem, we will move on to the joint discussion to fully understand the problem from both sides of the parties and negotiate the best way to resolve the issue. I will also be meet each of you during a separate session, known as caucus, to clarify some concerns. Or maybe you feel that you can share more with confidence during individual discussion. Please remember that if I have a separate session with you, I will do the same to the other party. The conversation during the separate session is also confidential unless given consent by the party. I am also interested in reminding both of you that both parties control the outcome of the mediation session. Now, do you have any questions regarding the process for the mediation?
Thank you for your clarifications. We understand.
We are clear and no question. Thank you.
Before we proceed, can you tell me what brought both of you to the mediation?
Sure, my company, SCS Construction, is the main contractor on the proposal project to renovate the kitchen. In this case, both parties agree with a 50% advance payment in order to finish this project before Christmas. However, due to the unwillingness of getting the approval from the Santa Management Committee, we were not able to finish the job on time unless we work overtime and during the weekend, and that will need an extra payment of 13% as I have asked, but Mr. Arjun disagreed, and that was brought us here to the mediation.
So, you seem to be disappointed that because of Ms. Azrin's lateness, your company was unable to finish the project on time. But Ms. Azrin wouldn't want to bear the extra costs because of her doing. Is that true, Mr. Yuzin and Mr. Haziq?
Well, first of all,
Ms. Azrin, as I have mentioned before, on the ground rules, please do not cause interruptions to others when they are speaking. Please jot down on that paper if you have any questions.
I'm sorry.
Yuzin, did you meet Ms. Azrin regarding this matter?
Yes, I have, and that is when Mr. Arjun disagreed.
All right. Do you have more to say?
No, I don't.
If that's so, let us hear from Ms. Azrin on what she has to say.
I refused to pay another extra 30% early because that wasn't our first agreement before the project started. Plus, I did what I had to do, which was to get approval from the strata management committees. My expectation is that ICS company construction will be able to get the job done regardless of when they get the approval.
Thank you, Ms. Azrin. So, from what I heard from both perspectives, I can see that both of you are giving cooperation up to a point when miscommunication happens. Due to Ms. Azrin's lateness, Yuzin's work progress was affected and needed extra payment to continue the work with overtime labor. Meanwhile, Ms. Azrin had an expectation that Yuzin would be able to complete the job without a problem. So I think this might be a good time for us to take a short break and we will proceed with caucus. Welcome back. Please join me for our caucus. Mr. Yuzin, how are you after that break? I hope that you're doing good after that.
I am feeling good now and I am ready to continue.
That's great to hear. I hope you were satisfied with the food provided just now.
It was pleasant, thank you, Ms. Haji, and I enjoyed it very much.
So, without further ado, let us begin our caucus.
Yes, let us begin.
Well, Mr. Yuzin, as you know what we are about to discuss is strictly confidential, and I will not tell anyone what you do not want me to tell. Please allow me to enter the mediation for today regarding your mediation. Have you prepared anything for today, or do you have any suggestions to solve the problem?
Yes, we have prepared some solution for this problem. Do you mind if I let my representative give an example and sample overview to you on my behalf?
Yes, there won't be a problem with that. Please proceed, Mr. Haziq.
Well, Mr. Isaac, to be fair, we think that Miss Azrin is at fault for causing this predicament, but we're admitting that it might be also be our fault to have not pushed Miss Azrin to get the approval as soon as possible. After a detailed overview and meeting in our company, we suggest and are willing to settle with 20% extra of early payment and bear the other costs on our own until we complete the project.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Haziq. I'm very clear with the solution given. So you are willing to reduce 10% from your previous asking and are going to bear the other costs until the project completes, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's right. That is the best solution for my company.
Okay, Mr. Izan. So, do you have other suggestions? I would like to ask if Ms. Azrin will want to accept your first suggestion. Do you have any solution to resolve the problem?
Well, we think that's our most reasonable and best solution we could provide, and I hope it can be accepted. It is the best way to solve our problem in my opinion. If Mr. Azrin party has a better solution, I am willing to compromise as long as I see it fair. I do not want to blow this mediation. We want to avoid as many conflicts as we can between both parties. That is the sole reason for us to do the mediation today.
Thank you for both of your cooperation, Mr. Izan and Mr. Haziq. I can see that you sincerely hope that the problem can be solved smoothly. I hope I can help you and Ms. Azrin to achieve a fair and effective solution through the following joint sessions.
Thank you for your effort too, Mr. Isaac. We appreciate it a lot.
You're most welcome. It's my pleasure to provide the very best service. All right, Ms. Azrin and Ms. Azan, welcome back to our caucus sessions. And have you guys had lunch during our short break just now?
Yes, we had our lunch and the service was amazing. Just now, we both had nasi ayam, and I think that was one of the best I had. It was delicious.
I'm glad to know that both of you enjoyed your lunch. Before we went into this session, during this session, both you and Ms. Azani are allowed to speak whatever you have to say. If you feel like you haven't said enough, please do so during this session. And let me remind you again, everything that is said here will be strictly confidential unless I have permission to do so. During the brief session, you said that you expected ICS construction to be able to complete the project without a problem, regardless of the duration of the project. Right. So, do you have any additions on this matter?
Allow me to speak. Yes, I have to say that according to Ms. Azrin, Mr. Yuzan seems to be confident, and Ms. Azrin remembers that he specifically said ICS construction will be able to complete the project as long as Ms. Azrin gets the approval from the Strata Management Committee. Thus, Ms. Azrin has paid the 50% of the total payment as our agreement, so she expected nothing less of ICS construction. But now Ms. Azrin thinks that she was at fault too for not getting the approval as soon as possible when she wanted it to be completed before the specific time.
So, what's your best solution to resolve this issue?
As mentioned before, Ms. Azrin wasn't able to pay the payment in full but was willing to pay 50% of the total payment, and she already did. But with our discussion, we've come to an agreement that Ms. Azrin is willing to pay another 10% extra and will pay the rest after the job is completed. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you for your cooperation. We will meet back again in a joint session later. The clock is already showing 2:30 p.m. Thank you for your cooperation and patience in sticking to up till now. Since both parties agreed to get together in a joint session earlier, here we are. I hope that both will continue to give their full cooperation to solve the dispute since we are nearing our session.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay, now I will hand it over to Mr. Haziq. Please elaborate more on your statement. I believe everyone here would like to hear it.
So let's not waste any time and get straight to the point. Due to your lateness in getting the approval, I think it is only fair that you pay some amount of money as consequences and to accommodate your request to complete the project before Christmas. Do you think that be fair for us to bear the cost alone when you play a role in this situation too? If you aren't willing to compromise and pay, the project will be dragged even more, and we will not be able to complete it in time.
Mr. Hassan, I hope you understand our reasoning so that we can maintain a good relationship and avoid any more conflict. I want this project to run smoothly without any delay anymore.
I hope you can compromise and take accountability too in this situation, Miss Azrin.
Ms. Azan, after a separate session just now, I think you have more to say.
Thank you, Ms. Isaac. After a detailed discussion and consideration with Ms. Azrin, we will only agree to pay another 10% extra of the remaining payment early.
I feel like that is so unfair because we are paying 20% more than you in order to complete the project and we are paying on level 2 in order to meet your request.
Mr. Yuzen, I understand your situation and that your company has been experiencing financial issues due to the pandemic. But I feel like I was already being considerate to pay you 50% early and 10% on top of that. But I'm only willing to pay that extra 10% for now. I too wish to keep a good relationship and that you are able to complete the project.
Well, I have one last offer which is on you to pay us 15% in order for us to complete the project and you will pay the rest of the payment after we completed the project.
Well, I just want this project to be completed before Christmas. And if that would help you to complete this project, I'll accept it just so that no more problems will arise.
Good. Since both parties agree to go with Mr. Yuzen's solutions, then we will proceed until the agreement. Good morning, Ms. Aldrin and Mr. Yuzen. Today is the last day of our meeting for mediation. The meeting is for the purpose of summarizing the result from the past joint session, and both of you will be signing the mediation agreement under my witness. Any questions before we get into this further? Great. After a few meetings, we have come to an alternative way to solve this dispute, in which Ms. Azrin, the homeowner, will pay Mr. Yuzen, a representative from ICS Construction, another 15% from the 50% payment after work done early in order for ICS Construction to finish the works. Are you both clear and still in agreement with this solution? Any objections?
No, they don't have.
I also agree with the result.
Fantastic. Since there are no objections, I would like to invite you both to sign the mediation agreement under my witness. Please make sure to check again the details in this agreement, whether they are correct or not before signing.